Okay, so why the daily Quran ritual, besides the fact that now it should be really obvious given all of these hadith about how to approach religion? Well, the basic thing here is when you focus all of your energy and commitment into one easy, small habit at a time, barakah or blessing builds in the time and space that you carve out for this ritual. And so, by the way, the keys for rituals, which we'll go probably more into tomorrow, but one of the keys is ideally you want it to be at the same time every day. And after, you want to link it to another habit that you already have, so it might be like on your lunch break, you eat a sandwich, and normally you eat your sandwich and you pray dhuhr and then you get back to work. But now you're going to eat your sandwich, pray dhuhr, and spend 5 minutes reading the Quran and then get back to work, right? So the idea is when you focus all your energy commitment into one easy, small habit at a time, barakah then builds in that time and space. It's the Quran ritual, the daily Quran ritual is the only space you need to achieve all of your Quran goals. So the benefits are, there's a multitude of benefits, but at the beginning, we're just taking this tiny piece of time, okay? And that piece of time, by the way, starts small, and for the first month, it can be super small. And then the next couple of weeks, it's a little bit bigger. And the next couple of weeks, it's a little bit bigger. And you build it and build it and build it, and eventually, you skip the sandwich, you pray dhuhr, and you just spend the whole of your lunch break reading the Quran, right? And maybe that's what it is for you. Maybe it's you'll figure out what ends up being your optimal Quran ritual. Most people overestimate what they can do in one session and underestimate the power of a ritual which lasts for decades, inshallah. Right? And also, there's this other interesting thing that I heard from a personal development teacher, which is most people dramatically overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year and dramatically underestimate what they can achieve in 10. Okay. The idea of this daily Quran ritual is you wake up on the Day of Judgment with mountains of good that emerged out of this short space that you just deliberately carved out of your time each day, right? And I know we'll talk a little bit later about how much the nafs, the ego, wants to do more than 5 minutes. It wants to do, no, I can do more. I can do 50 minutes. Come on, I'm an educated person. I know how to get myself to do stuff. So your ego is like, no, I can do more than this little ritual that you're telling me to install. But trust me, start small, do this little ritual, and by the time you die and are raised, you are going to be raised with just incredible blessings beyond your imagination, inshallah. So here's why else we do the daily Quran ritual. The day you consciously commit to installing the habit and actually start it, and I don't mean start 30 minutes, I don't mean start studying an hour a day, I mean the day you commit to installing the habit and you actually start the habit, that's the greatest day of your life. That's the day that you're gonna look back on a week from now, a year from now, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, and you're gonna say, that day, and hey, maybe it's today, maybe it's Tuesday the 14th of April, maybe it was Monday the 13th of April when you started this course, and inshallah you do a module of this course every day, and then immediately afterwards you roll straight into doing your Quran ritual, maybe even do it at the same time that you were studying this course, whatever it works out being for you. But the day that you make a very firm psychological conscious commitment to this habit, it's the greatest day of your life, because that's the starting point, right? You might notice, like, if there was like a diagram, like you're good, and then it's like the blessings and the barakah and the knowledge and the action that happens in your life just starts taking an upward, exponentially increases. Scholars say, I mentioned this yesterday, but it's worth repeating. Scholars say that when a believer sets out on a path and dies along the way, they're considered among those who reach the destination. So if you set really firmly on this path, especially if you manage to stick it out the first 40 days, because that's when there's a very spiritual significance to continuing something for 40 days. We'll go more into this tomorrow, but when you do something every day for 40 days, then you can consider yourself someone who does it, right? And the scholars say that when a believer sets out on a path and then dies along the way, so maybe 3 months from now is the day of your death, but you were on the path, you did your 40 days, you're now 120 days into your daily Quran ritual, khalas, it's done. And if you're following the Quran for Busy People plan and you made the firm commitment that I'm going to stick with this 10-step plan, then inshallah, the last step is to do hifth. So who knows, maybe you'll be raised that way. Maybe you'll be raised, inshallah, more specifically is what the it's said in the hadith, and I don't know if the Quran says it this way, but in the hadith definitely, Ahlul Quran. Allah says He has His people on earth, and they are the people of the Quran. That's Allah's tribe, the people of the Quran. So inshallah, you'll be raised with them. Our intention and commitment is to be among those who firmly set out one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 5-minute segment at a time. That's it. That's all we're aiming for. The destination is to be, that's our starting point. The destination where we want to get to ultimately, if it grows to being, inshallah, a substantial thing of maybe 20, 30 minutes a day, the destination is to be beautifully, fluently, to be able to beautifully, fluently recite the Quran with deep, profound understanding from memory and be transformed as you recite, inshallah. That's the ultimate destination. That is the goal, that we're not stopping until we get there. Okay? That's where we're headed. If you enjoyed this video and want the full Quran for Busy People system to transform your connection with the Quran in as little as 11 minutes a day, go to quranforbusypeople.com and check out the free web class.